Hello and welcome back to the channel. So while I'm pretty excited about all the views I'm getting on my healer comparison, my like to dislike ratio, and all the comments telling me I don't know what I'm talking about and have no business speaking on healers with this lack of knowledge have led me to believe that I need to make a video explaining what I'm about and what my channel is about. While the comments that just say stuff like you're wrong and don't know what you're talking about don't bother me so much, it's the ones where people go in depth and step-by-step explain things to me of why I'm so wrong that make me wonder if people understand the point of my videos and my perspective. That brings me to today. My videos are not meant to be guides. I'm 35 years old. I work a full-time job. I have a wife and 3 teenage daughters that I try to give a good amount of my time and attention to. As much as I like playing WoW and making videos on it, seeing people's reactions, both good and bad, I don't have as much time to devote to it as others on the platform. I like to make videos on what I'm seeing and how I feel about things. My views are from an average player to other average players. If what I'm saying works for you, great. If you think something else will work better, share your thoughts on it. I want my thoughts and opinions to be a place to give people a starting point. I want you to use your own experience and skill to build from that. I'm making videos on my experience in the beta. This is something I really enjoy doing. I like sharing information with others who may not have access to all of what's going on in the beta. I'm trying my hardest not to research and watch what other people have said and incorporate that because I don't want to be biased. I'm not just going to regurgitate what the big WoW YouTubers say. It's not the purpose of my videos. Again, my perspective is from an average player to average players. So, what is my experience? Well, I started playing in January of 2006 near the end of vanilla. I knew very little about the game and mainly looked to Thoughtbot to figure out even just your simplest of quests. I played a paladin, and despite my inability to do anything of value to a group, I was brought along to do BRD because of my buffs and my white protection. I got my pally to level 60 about a month or two before the launch of TBC. In TBC, I decided I wanted to become a healer, so I leveled up a Draenei Priest. I joined a guild and began raiding casually. I was not hardcore into raiding, but I liked doing it well enough. But the guild I was in wanted me to be like a backup, and I wanted to raid, so I left. I joined a pug raid group and did well enough that they invited me to their guild. I healed in Karazhan and Zul'Aman. When Wrath of the Lich King came out, I wanted to try my hand at some other classes. I played Death Knight, Warrior for tanking, and really liked them. I made a Destruction Warlock for Naxxramas and was top DPS in my raid for a bit. Later, I got into playing Rogue and made it to the number 2 DPS in ICC. I also did a bit of tanking on my Paladin in Trial of the Crusade. When the pre-expansion patch for Cataclysm hit, I fulfilled my original dream of playing a human hunter and got him to cap before the expansion. My guild leader and raid leader decided to take a break from the game in the beginning of the expansion, and I took over raiding. I would say I was pretty noobish at this time, and we didn't get very far. People were less apt to sign up for raids when the raid leader and guild leader weren't there. We got through a few bosses in Blackwing Descent before our raid leader and guild leader came back. We ended up clearing almost all of the raids before the raid leader and guild leader both decided to quit playing the game. I tried getting groups together in Mists of Pandaria, but guild interest was fading and guild membership was on the decline. I was able to get groups for every raid, but rarely did we ever get a full clear. During this expansion, I mainly played Mistweaver Monk, Demonology Warlock, and Holy Paladin. In Warlords of Draenor, my guild was essentially dead for raiding purposes. The only raiding I did was the occasional pug on my Holy Priest, which was my main for the entirety of the expansion. I played all the classes to some extent to level them up, and that was about it. I didn't play WoW for a good 6 months during Warlords of Draenor. I was pretty excited for Legion because I got an actual beta invite, unlike the everyone gets a beta that subs for a year that came with Mists. I wanted to play my Hunter as melee in Legion, but after they changed it so much in the beta, I decided against it. Instead, I opted to level up my Holy Paladin and then work on a Vengeance Demon Hunter. I hoped that with such big new changes, my guild would regain interest in raiding. This did not happen. I leveled up all my tunes, but did no raiding for most of the expansion because my guild wasn't raiding. I could get some people to run heroics and eventually some mythics, but not much more than that. Because of this, I chose to leave the guild that I had been in for so many years. My raiding in Legion started with Antorus. I applied to a guild that raided regularly but was not super hardcore. They needed DPS and decided to let me audition, so to speak, to their normal alt run on my Warlock, who was moderately geared. I had only one legendary and my DPS was pretty awful. But it was still higher than the tanks though. So because I didn't stand in shit and I learned the mechanics quickly, I was dependable to make it to raids. They decided to bring me on. I quickly geared up and was moved to the heroic group where we eventually got a full clear. Once Heroic Gantoris was on farm, we started doing more alt runs, and I eventually began to play my Pally in the Heroic group as a healer. Once the alpha hit for BFA and I got an invite, my rating dwindled. I still do one night a week, but that is about it. I was really excited about getting an alpha invite and then invited to the beta, so I decided to start making videos. I wanted to share my experience and my opinions with people and hopefully get their thoughts on it as well. So that's basically my experience. I'm a casual player, I like to raid and run mythics, but nothing super hardcore. My goal is not to educate anyone or give guides. Instead, I want to give people a look at what they might not otherwise be able to see and share my thoughts and listen to their thoughts. I hope this video gives you some understanding of me and my perspective. I'll see you next time.